I've got a door here that's almost ready to rub on the door jamb, and I don't want it to do that because I don't want any paint to rub off. Lots of times you may not catch this until your door is starting to rub. Now you've got a rub mark up here, and you've got a rub mark on the door jamb that you're going to have to fix, and maybe you don't have any touch-up paint. When they get this close, you know it's time to fix the sagging door. And I know there's enough clearance here to suck this hinge over. Now there's 4 or 5 different ways to fix a sagging door, but this is just one that I'm going to show you. I've got enough room to suck the hinge over, and at the bottom I see there's a big huge gap here all the way down, and that's going to lessen to a certain extent once I move this over. And I know I have enough clearance up at the top, so when I do that, it's not going to hit the top. In fact, it looks like it's almost straight, but it is kind of sagging down this way. So when I push that over, that line's going to get nice and a little bit straighter. And then when I get all done, I think I'm still going to have a gap there. And so I can take this hinge off and put some screws back in there for backing, like for shim, screw them in and out a little bit close to the outside edge of the stop of the door jamb, let's say, and then re-screw the hinge back in there, and that's going to tilt that hinge and get that less. But I'm not going to do that on this video, because eventually I'm going to once I fix this, I'm going to be painting all the doors and frames in this condo, and the walls and the ceilings and the baseboard and all that kind of stuff. I'm just getting ready to do that. But before that, obviously, I'm checking all the doors in here, and then I've got little holes in different spots. See, here's some little holes, and see, there was something down there. It tells me there was probably a dog in here or something, and they might have had a little gate here, because there's the same marks up there. And then I'll go around and you know, take out the picture hangers and see if I see any other little holes in different areas. So I'm not ready to paint just yet, okay? And you see, the last person who painted here, look at that. They didn't even paint all the way over. It was like they left it because they didn't want to take these vertical blinds down. And there's a mark all the way up there, and you can see it. See along there? So I'm going to have to take all those down and all that. Enough of that, though. First things first, you know, don't look at your whole project and get inundated and get your head swirling and think, man, how am I going to do this? I'm only here by myself. This is going to take me forever. Hey, just look at one project at a time. And the only thing I'm concerned about right now, and I'm working on and I'm concentrating on, is this one door. Once I get done with this door, I'll go on to the next one and check that. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, and that's how you do your projects. Split them all up into mini projects. Mini, M-I-N-I, and that's it, okay? This door was also warped. I'm not showing you on this video how to fix this. It'll be on another previous one, or you can go to my playlist under doors and you'll find it there. I had to readjust the door stop, take it off and move it. See how far I had to move it that way? That's because the last person this door was warped, and they readjusted the door stop when they installed this door. Okay, this is about where the door stop's supposed to be, and I'll work on that. I'll work on that more after I get the doors painted, and I'll have to adjust the strike so that I can push that in, and that way it'll push the bottom in now. I can do that because the stop is there. This stop was pushed in about 5/16 too far. I looked at it when I first got here, and I'm closing and opening doors, and I like to make sure everything looks nice. You know what I mean? This one was dive bombed way in. I'm like, what's the deal? And then it was sticking out at the bottom. So if you want to watch that, yeah, I've got videos of that too, but not on here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now, I only have to work on this one hinge right here. Okay, follow me along. If you've never seen this before, I'll show you how to fix the sagging door. And I've got more videos of how to fix other doors on my channel and all that. Okay, that's coming up. Okay, I just got my drill here. This is an impact drill, and the first thing I got to do is just take these screws out. The ones going into the door frame. Okay, and let's see if I can't take a little screwdriver and kind of pop this out. It looks like it's been, oh, okay, there it goes. There, see? Pop that over like that. And now I've got to drill some holes, and I'm going to drill them on the inside, you know, in here, but kind of towards the edge on the top and bottom, but far enough away to where my head of my screw is not going to show it. Because I'm going to take some screws, and see, I'll probably use 2.5s. See here, these are drywall screws, and these are where is it? Coarse thread. See, right there. And I got some 3-inch too. Coarse thread, meaning they're big threads for wood. Okay, you can get sheetrock screws too with fine threads for sheet metal and stuff like that. So look at the store. Make sure you get the coarse thread. Okay, so see, I'm going to take that screw and I'm going to ram it right in there. But before I do that, I'm going to pre-drill that through this and into the wood, the 2x4 that's behind there. Can you see? Once I do that, and then when I screw that one in, I screw one in at the bottom here, it's going to kind of push this jamb right in this section. It's going to kind of bend it in, and that's going to suck this hinge over. When I said suck it over, and you'll see. Just keep following this. And I don't want it. I got the impact drill, and you might think, oh, just ram those suckers in there, Joe. You don't want to do that because this wood is just pine wood or yeah, generally it's pine, and you don't want to split it or anything. So I always like to pre-drill those holes. So I'm going to get a drill bit that's a little bit less than my screw, and you see, I've got another drill here. And this is the drill I used to use all the time. And this is not an impact one, and it's got the chuck. Okay, so you can attach a drill on there, drill bit and stuff. But on the impact, you can't put regular drill bits in there. You gotta take one that has the. Let's get this out of here. That has the end. But the crazy thing is, whoever made these, they really did a boo-boo. Because see, the drill bit only goes from here to there. That's not very long, is it? There's no way I'm gonna drill through the 3/4 inch door jamb and a slight gap, and then the 2x4. It's barely gonna go into the 2x4, right? There's no way that's gonna go in all the way. Let's see how far it's sticking in. An inch and 5/16 from here that way. I've got 2.5 inch screws, and I want to get it nicely tucked in there. So I can't really use that, can I? So I can't use the impact for drilling. Now, you see, if I take a regular drill bit that I can put in that drill, I can just barely catch this and tighten it up there. I don't have to push it in too much. And so let's see if I push it in about there and grab it. See how much more of the drill bit I can go? Look at that. It's crazy. They should have made these longer. You know? That's kind of sucky. I just don't like these for that reason, okay? So I'm always prepared. See how much further I can go if I use if I use this drill here. See, I don't want to push it in all the way, and it doesn't need to go in all the way. It just needs to go in, you know, 1/8 of an inch. And then you've got to kind of check it, because if you tighten it up wrong, your bit will be wonky. Whoa, 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 whoa. You've got to make sure. Now see, look at all that I got stuck out there. Because if I use this one, this part here is going to hit the wood, the outside of the door jamb, right? This is going to hit the wood at the outside of the door jamb now. You see how much further my drill bit's going to go? Look at that. Okay, so I've got one a little bit thinner, and now I'm ready to drill those holes. I was trying to think where to put this so that you could see me drilling this, and okay, so I've got a hole. I've got a mark right up in there, and I can take my scratch awl and mark that if I want. And I'm going to kind of go in at a slight angle, just a little bit, because if I go in perfectly straight, let's say, I may not hit the stud, because the 1/2 inch sheetrock is from that edge over, so the 1/2 inch is about right there. If I drilled it straight right there, I'm only grabbing maybe 3/16 of the wood. And do I want the edge of the stud to split off or crack right there? No. So I'm gonna put it in at a slight angle. Yeah, you can see that. 30-degree angle or so. See, now I'm through the door jamb. Now I'm going right directly into the wood stud. Okay, and I used to use the same drill to put these screws in, but because I've got the impact drill, it'll go da 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 da. It doesn't take me as much effort, and especially if the stud was hard as a rock, let's say, maybe I could only get it in there so far, and I might want this pushed into the wood a little bit further or something, because I've got to actually sink these into the jamb just a hair, because I want this to be flush. You see what I'm saying? That's why I take the hinge out like that, pre-drill it, put the screws in. I used to put eight galvanized nail, 8-penny galvanized like nails in, and would put a nail set and set it in here, and then put some white caulking over that and call it good. In residential years ago, that's how I used to fix it. And but then you see the nail head, or you see the caulking, and the caulking could depress, and maybe the caulking's not the same color. And I mean, you can get away with that in a pinch, but I like this way much, much better. Okay, you know what? I might only have to do that bottom one because this is a hollow core door, and it's not that wide of a door. It's not a very heavy door or anything, and I might be able to get by just with that. I'm gonna keep the camera running, okay? And let's just see on this door what happens here, okay? Let's see if that's all I got to do. Oh, silly rabbit. Silly rabbit. I forgot to put the hinge back on. Okay. And I'm not gonna sink these in. Last thing I want to do is tighten those up with the drill because these screws are so small and I don't want to strip it. I always go the extra effort and just do it by hand at the end. Some guys don't, and you could start spinning the screw thinking, okay, do I have it tight enough? And then you do one more little and then it starts spinning. You think, oops, that's not a good thing. Okay, I'm going to keep the camera running. I don't want you to think there's any monkey business going on. Get this door closed. We're going to look up here and we're going to see what we have to do. I see it's a slight more of a gap, but look at that. I still got gap there. I think I'm going to suck that screw in at the bottom a little bit more, and I'm going to go ahead and put the screw in at the top because to me that's borderline. Okay, so let's just see if we can't get that just a hair better, huh? It's the hair. And this doesn't take that long. When I come across a door that's sagging, generally this will do the trick. Sometimes I got to do different things. Like I say, there's 4 or 5 different ways to fix a sagging door. I'll get you swiveled over this way. And see, with the impact drill, I can just go da 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 da. With my other drill, I probably couldn't push this in any further. You see what I mean? So I like the impact drills for that. Okay, so I'm going to suck that in a little bit more. And I can because of the impact. And that's why I pre-drilled it too. The last thing you want is to go that far and then have this whole thing crack off or something. You know? And that's why I pre-drill it into the wood so that these screws will still go in, but they'll still bite. If I don't do that, and if those studs are 20 years old, 30 years old, maybe you can't get the screw in all the way. And you think, oh, I'll put a 2-inch screw in or 1 5/8 screw, and maybe you need a little bit longer, you know, or the head strips or snaps off. Okay, so I used to. Sometimes I'll do this with 3-inch, but lately I've decided, hey, 2.5-inch works fine. Okay, that's sunk in there nice. I don't want to go much further than that. There's no way that door jamb is gonna suck in any further than there. I can see where the nail head is kind of getting ready to pucker there. See right there? Right there. You can see it. Okay. Right there. And I'll take my my putty knife. I'll just take just a flat putty knife. I'll set it on there. Got the tap on it. Hoping that I don't hit the edge of that. There, it's gone. Okay. Now let's check it and see. When they installed these door jambs, they put shims in here, and usually there's some shims there, one in the middle, one down at the bottom, maybe 4 sets. It's generally like 3 sets. Boom, 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 and depending when they get all done, what they have to do. So see, there might be some shims right behind here, let's say, and they're sucked up so tight that no matter what I do, I can't push this any further that way. Or maybe right here, this door jamb, maybe there's no shim there at all, and this is pushed up nice and tight to the wood. You know, the framing You might get something like that. So there's only so much you're going to be able to do, right? Okay. So now let's and that I did that last time too. I forgot to. I'm like, what's the deal here? I'm trying to go too fast. I forgot to screw the hinge back on. Okay. Just kind of get that back in there. And if I don't, or if I want, I could just put these in by hand. I mean, the screws aren't very long. And I just want to get them snug. I don't want to try to over tighten these. These are small screws and you could start spinning them depending, okay? Once you do that, you lose the holding power. And you don't want that on your top hinge, okay? Okay, so now, get back in there. Close this door. And let's just check out this. Let's just check out this gap now. Look at that, would you? Look at that. That's nice. You see there? Now look here. See, I still have a little bit of a gap. That's beautiful. See how much more I shoved that over? There's still a little bit of a gap, and that's fine. And that's almost the same, you know. Granted, this one, later I'm going to have to move it and tweak it over to get this lined up more, okay? But I was able to make the gap here, so that raised this door up and it raised it over. You gotta imagine this being a square. So if you take the right-hand side of the square over, the whole thing's gonna tilt, see? The top corner is gonna go up and away from this outside edge. Boom, 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 like that. Got it? So now, I'm ready to take this. I can take this door down anytime I want because I'm going to get ready to paint. I'm taking the hinges off and we're going to replace the hinges with brand new hinges. It's probably a different color. I can take that off and I can know that anything I need to do with this door later on, I can do with it being a brand new painted door, because I still need to get that over and I can do that later. I still have to adjust the strike plate, and I could do that now, but I can do that later too. Okay, and that's it. So now I can go on to the next door, and that is how you fix a sagging door. That didn't really take that long, did it? You know, look how nice that is. You're not ever going to have to worry about that sagging later on down the road. This looks fine. The gap looks fine at the top. That gap right there is nice. The gap's nice over there. And we've done it, by Joe. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back. Let's get you out here in the sun. Well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more video.